Respect is one of those things everyone craves, but few truly understand. Most people think it comes from force, being the loudest in the room, showing off wealth, flexing status, or intimidating others into obedience. But what they fail to realize is this: forced respect is not respect at all. It's fear, and fear vanishes the moment your power weakens. True respect doesn't shout. It doesn't demand. It doesn't need to prove itself. True respect is quiet, steady, and undeniable. It flows naturally toward people who carry themselves with clarity, composure, and inner strength. And often, this respect is revealed not in grand speeches or dramatic actions, but in simple, disciplined phrases spoken at the right time. The Stoics lived in a world of chaos and uncertainty, emperors fighting wars, slaves enduring brutality, philosophers navigating political intrigue. Yet they discovered a secret. The words you choose are not just communication, they are a reflection of your character. The way you speak tells people how disciplined you are, how trustworthy you are, and how strong your inner foundation is. That is why some phrases, when rooted in Stoic wisdom, carry enormous weight. They don't just sound good, they signal discipline. They show that you're not easily shaken, not easily provoked, and not easily controlled by emotions or chaos. In this series, we'll explore 6 Stoic-inspired phrases that instantly earn respect without shouting, without posturing, without empty bravado. These phrases are powerful because they represent timeless values: composure, humility, integrity, and strength. In this first part, we'll dive into the first 2 phrases. And as you'll see, they are deceptively simple, but when lived out consistently, they can completely transform the way people see you. Number 1, I will not waste energy on what I cannot control. Think about how most people handle challenges. A train gets delayed, and they complain endlessly. A politician makes a decision, and they explode in rage online. Someone speaks badly about them, and they spend hours replaying it in their mind. All of this energy is poured into things completely outside their control. Now pause for a second. What does that do to their reputation? Do others look at them and think, wow, this person is composed and reliable? Of course not. They think the opposite. This person is fragile. This person is at the mercy of everything around them. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled one of the greatest empires in history, faced invasions, plagues, betrayals, and immense personal losses. And yet, in his private journal, he wrote a line that remains one of the most liberating truths ever recorded. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the heart of Stoicism. Respect is not earned by controlling everything around you. It's earned by controlling yourself. When you say, I will not waste energy on what I cannot control, you are making a statement far more powerful than anger ever could. You're declaring that you understand the difference between reality and illusion. Reality is what you can act upon. Illusion is the fantasy that shouting, blaming, or obsessing will change something outside your influence. Let me give you a real example. A colleague of mine once lost a huge business deal because of market fluctuations, completely beyond his control. Instead of raging, he calmly told the team, "We did everything right, but the timing wasn't in our hands. What we can do is prepare better for the next opportunity." That one sentence earned him enormous respect. Why? Because while everyone else was drowning in frustration, he anchored himself in clarity. Contrast this with another leader I saw years earlier. When his project collapsed, he exploded, shouting at subordinates, blaming everyone, even ranting about government policies. His anger didn't change the outcome. It only destroyed trust and left people unwilling to work with him again. The difference between the two: one wasted energy on the uncontrollable. The other focused energy on what could still be done. Guess which one commanded lasting respect? Here's the practical challenge. The next time life throws something frustrating at you, traffic, criticism, delays, gossip, pause and ask, is this within my control? If the answer is no, Repeat to yourself, I will not waste energy on what I cannot control. Then move your attention to what actually matters. People respect those who refuse to be tossed around by every storm. Composure is magnetic because it's rare, and the rarer it is, the more respect it commands. Number 2, let me listen before I respond. In today's world, everyone wants to be heard, but very few are willing to listen. Think about the last heated discussion you witnessed. How often did people talk over one another? How often did someone interrupt mid-sentence, eager to prove a point? How often did the conversation become about ego, not understanding? Every time you interrupt, argue prematurely, or rush to respond, you unintentionally say, what I have to say is more important than what you are saying. And that subtle arrogance chips away at respect. Now imagine someone who responds differently. In the debate, instead of cutting in, they say calmly, let me listen before I respond. They sit with patience, hear the other side fully, and then, only then, do they speak. Suddenly the entire atmosphere changes. Epictetus, once a slave who became one of the greatest Stoic teachers, captured this perfectly. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we may listen twice as much as we speak. He knew that true strength is not in talking endlessly, but in listening deeply. I once worked under a mentor who rarely spoke first in meetings. He would let everyone share their ideas, their complaints, their arguments. He would nod, take notes, and remain silent. Then when the room quieted, he would finally speak, and his words carried extraordinary weight. Why? Because he listened before responding. He showed humility, patience, and confidence in silence. Compare that to the person who jumps in every 2 minutes. Even if they're brilliant, their constant interruptions erode respect. People stop hearing the content of their words and start focusing on their lack of composure. Saying, let me listen before I respond, does 2 things. First, it elevates you above the noise, showing that you are not ruled by impulse. Second, it makes others feel valued, because you are giving them the rare gift of attention. And attention, in our distracted world, is one of the highest forms of respect you can give. Here's the Stoic discipline. The next time you feel the urge to interrupt, take a breath. Let the other person finish. Say to yourself quietly, let me listen before I respond. Then watch how the quality of your conversations and the respect you command rises dramatically. Number 3, I will stand by what is right, even if I stand alone. One of the clearest signals of true strength is moral courage. Most people think respect comes from blending in, from following the crowd, from avoiding conflict. But here's the truth. People may like you for conformity, but they respect you for integrity. When you say, I will stand by what is right, even if I stand alone, you declare that your principles are stronger than peer pressure. You show that your compass is not swayed by convenience, fear, or popularity. Think of Marcus Aurelius. As emperor, he faced immense pressure from the Senate, generals, and foreign powers. Yet he often chose the harder, lonelier path, refusing cruelty when others demanded vengeance, choosing mercy when others wanted blood. In his meditations, he reminds himself, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Simple words, but profound in their demand for integrity. Now think about everyday life. Imagine you are in a workplace where gossip spreads like wildfire. Everyone is mocking a colleague behind their back. You feel the pull to join in because silence feels awkward. But instead, you say calmly, I don't think it's fair to talk about them like this. In that moment, you may feel alone, but you instantly rise in the eyes of those who notice your courage. People might not say it out loud, but deep down, they respect you for not bending. Contrast that with the person who compromises values for approval. They laugh at what they know is wrong. They stay silent when they should speak. Over time, their reputation rots because people sense that their words have no backbone. Standing for what's right is never easy. It may cost you friends, promotions, or comfort, but it always earns you something far greater, enduring respect. Because respect doesn't come from how many follow you in the moment. It comes from the strength of your character, proven when you stand alone. Practical Stoic exercise. The next time you face a moral crossroad, pause and ask, if no one else agreed with me, would I still choose this? If the answer is yes, then you've tapped into Stoic courage. And courage is magnetic. Number 4. I don't know, but I am willing to learn. Nothing kills respect faster than arrogance disguised as knowledge. Too many people pretend to know everything. They fake expertise, interrupt with half-formed opinions, or dismiss questions because they fear looking weak. Ironically, in trying to appear strong, they expose their insecurity. Now imagine someone who answers differently. When asked a tough question, instead of fumbling or bluffing, they say calmly, I don't know, but I am willing to learn. Suddenly, the room shifts. Why? Because honesty is disarming, humility is rare, and curiosity is respected. Seneca, one of the great Stoics, wrote, if you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. At first glance, that seems harsh. But what he meant was this: the path to wisdom requires the humility to admit ignorance. Those who cling to false pride remain stagnant. Those who admit I don't know open the door to growth. Think of leaders you've admired. Did they always have all the answers? Or did they earn trust by admitting gaps, by seeking advice, by surrounding themselves with people smarter than them? The most respected leaders I've known were never the ones pretending to be flawless. They were the ones who admitted limits and then grew beyond them. Let me give you a personal example. Years ago, during a critical presentation, a client asked a highly technical question. The junior manager presenting could have tried to improvise and failed. Instead, he paused and said, "That's outside my expertise, but I'll find out and get back to you." At first, there was silence. Then the client nodded and said, "I respect that." Most people would have tried to bluff. That one moment built more trust than any slick answer could have. Contrast that with another leader I once saw who bluffed confidently during a Q&A. Within minutes, the audience realized he didn't know what he was talking about. The respect in the room evaporated instantly. Here's the paradox. Admitting ignorance makes you appear stronger, not weaker, because it signals self-assurance. Only insecure people cling to the illusion of always being right. Strong people embrace learning. Practical Stoic exercise. The next time you're tempted to bluff, breathe and say, "I don't know, but I am willing to learn." Then follow through. You'll find that people not only respect your honesty, but also trust you more deeply. Number 5. Your opinion of me is not my responsibility. Few things erode respect faster than desperation for approval. When you are constantly adjusting yourself to please everyone, people sense weakness. They see that you have no center, no anchor, no real identity, and deep down, they lose respect. Now imagine someone who, when criticized, smiles calmly and says, "Your opinion of me is not my responsibility." These words are not arrogance. They are freedom. They signal that you know who you are, that your worth is not dependent on the endless shifting tides of others' opinions. Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. The Stoics knew that the approval of others is outside our control. To chase it is to enslave yourself. But to stand firm in your own principles is to command respect, even from those who disagree with you. I once knew a young leader who was mocked for his unconventional style. People said he was too calm and not aggressive enough. Instead of bending, he simply said, "That's fine. My results will speak louder than my style." And they did. Within a year, his quiet consistency outshone his critics. He didn't fight their opinions. He rose above them. Contrast this with the insecure person who constantly asks, "Do you think I did well? Do you think they like me? Should I change to fit in?" That desperation leaks through every interaction, draining respect like a bucket with holes. Here's the Stoic practice. The next time you feel the sting of someone's judgment, breathe and repeat, "Their opinion is not my responsibility. My character is." Respect flows not to the people who bend with every breeze, but to those who stand like mountains, unmoved by gossip. Number 6. Thank you. I will take this as an opportunity to grow. How do most people react to criticism? Defensiveness, excuses, anger. They lash out, deny fault, or shift blame. And in doing so, they reveal fragility. Now picture the opposite. Someone receives sharp feedback. Instead of sulking, they respond, "Thank you. I will take this as an opportunity to grow." Instantly, the energy shifts. Instead of looking insecure, they look powerful. Instead of losing respect, they gain it. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminded himself, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change." It's the truth I'm after. That is the essence of strength. To embrace correction, not as an attack, but as a gift. I once witnessed a manager get publicly challenged in a meeting. Everyone braced for his temper, but instead he said, "That's a fair point. I'll rethink it." The room was stunned. In that moment, his reputation soared. Why? Because humility is rare, and rare things are respected. Contrast that with another leader I once observed. The moment anyone disagreed with him, he grew defensive, raising his voice, shutting down discussion. Did people admire him? No. They feared him temporarily, but behind his back, they mocked his insecurity. Practical Stoic exercise. The next time criticism comes your way, resist the urge to fight. Pause, say, "Thank you, I will take this as an opportunity to grow." Then actually use it to improve. People will not only respect your composure, they will trust your maturity. Respect without shouting. We live in a noisy world. Everyone is shouting to be heard, on social media, in meetings, in daily conversations. But here's the paradox. The more you shout, the less people truly listen. Respect does not come from volume. It comes from virtue. The 6 Stoic phrases we've explored are not clever tricks. They are reflections of timeless character. I will not waste energy on what I cannot control. Let me listen before I respond. I will stand by what is right. Even if I stand alone, I don't know, but I am willing to learn. Your opinion of me is not my responsibility. Thank you. I will take this as an opportunity to grow. Together, these phrases create a framework of quiet authority. They remind us that respect is not demanded but earned, not shouted but lived, not fleeting but lasting. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. True respect doesn't come from fear. It comes from self-mastery, from courage, from humility, from integrity. So the next time you walk into a room, remember this: you don't need to shout to be heard. Speak with discipline, live with principle, and let your presence, not your noise, command respect.